Hello friends, I'm Dr. Ushma Desai. I am Assistant Professor at BRCM College of Business Administration, Surat. I'm specialized in the field of human resources and stress management. I hope you and your family members are safe during this pandemic situation, and I hope you're making most of your time and situation in enhancing your knowledge. I'm extremely happy to welcome you all to my new educational YouTube channel called Ushma's EduHub. I would like to take a minute to reveal an intent behind conception of this channel. This channel is created with an intention to help you build knowledge and skills in the area of human resources, data analysis, and research. Today, in this first video, we are going to discuss how to write effective resume. There used to be a time where people believed that writing resume is a technical activity and HR people can do it better. But over the period of time, I have realized that writing resume is not merely a technical activity, but it's an art that we all need to develop. At we can say all need to develop to create attractive resumes uh, at some point of time in our career. And learning this art is essential for all of us. So before I give you some tips regarding how to write an attractive and effective resume, let's just spend some time understanding what is resume, what is its structure, etc. So basically, resume is nothing but a record of work experience, education, uh, professional achievements, skills, or any other kind of honors and awards, etc., that you have received. Basically, through resume, you are trying to build a case, a strong case that why are you an absolutely ideal candidate for the job that you are applying for. Uh, it is usually, we can say, the first contact or first form of communication between the prospective employee and the organization. And that's why, or that is what makes it more special, that we need to make sure that we have a very strong and lasting first impression in the form of effective resume. Apart from this, it is also a document that can help you to prove that you are an ideal candidate, uh, which is worth the time and money and efforts that employers are putting in shortlisting you, basically. It's a selling brochure, we can say, if I put it in more a marketing language. It's nothing but it's a selling brochure. It's a show. It's basically showcasing your skills and knowledge and your achievements, which proves that you have a unique selling proposition and you have something to bring to the table. You have something unique to offer, and you are worth a product, we can say. This is the usual structure or layout of a resume wherein you are putting all the details together regarding your contact information, objectives, career objectives, we can say, work experience, education, skills, and additional sections if required. Let's understand this one by one. These are the details like we discussed just now in the template. So these are the details that we need to have, we must have in our resume. Each of this section is very essential. Let's understand how to create each one of these sections and what to keep in mind and what things are to be avoided. So the first is contact details. There are some of the basic contact details which are absolutely necessary, like name and phone number, email address, a professional one. Create one with your name and surname possible. Um, so create a professional email address and that needs to be provided. Apart from that, there could be extra details which could enhance the impact of your resume, like if you have very strong and effective LinkedIn profile, which is describing even further details regarding your knowledge and skills, and we can say achievements, that will be great. You should incorporate those. And apart from that, there are some contact optional contact information that could be provided if at all you are writing some content or something, or if you're a blogger, etc. So all those links could be provided, all those details could be mentioned, so that it becomes easy for the prospective employers to scout out your profile, basically, right? It is nowadays common practice among the modern, we can say, recruiters, and that is to have a social media scanning of your profile. They make sure that whatever personal or professional social media accounts that you hold, and how are you maintaining each one of this. They use this to uncover your personality even in much more depth that a resume could offer, basically. So that is why it's ideal, or it's recommended, if you could provide those details also. It becomes easy for them to locate you, and we can say that they'll be able to scan you as a candidate in much more depth. Second segment, career objective. Career objective needs to be written, keeping in mind that it is SMART objective. I'm sure you are aware about this acronym. The full form is, we can say, specific. The objective has to be specific. Sometime you may mention field, sometime you may mention job that you would like to take up, or sometime you just mention career path. So it needs to be specific. It should be measurable. You should be able to measure it, that within this many years you want to reach to some designation or something, that it should be achievable. It is not like you want to become CEO within 5 years. That is not achievable. It should be realistic in nature, and the most important, it should be time bound. You shouldn't be writing career objective which is for the span of 6 months or a year, right? It should be long term. So basically, whenever you write career objective, you need to be sure that at least the time limit that you are putting in frame is at least 3 to 5 years. If I have to give you some example or sample of career objective, it can go like this: that secure a responsible career opportunity to fully utilize my training and skills while making a significant contribution to the success of the company. Over here, to the contribution to the success of the company is the important phrase that you must mention, because there you are proving a point that you are interested in becoming the partner. You are interested to, or you already are engaged with the success of the organization, and you would like to make it happen. And your personal goal as well as that of the organizational goals are same. If you're a fresher, you are straight out of college and education system, uh, uh, you need to design your career objective even more carefully, and you may put it long-term career objective. Second situation could be that you are applying for a job for which you do not have any relevant, we can say, work experience, or you are trying to change field. In that case, you are experienced person, but you are trying to change the field from one to another, and you do not have relevant work experience in that situation. In that case, you should be highlighting transferable skills. So it's like your experience in computers and IT will help you to be a better teacher. You are shifting from IT to academics, let's say. Then you can say that your knowledge of IT will help you to be more uh, tech savvy kind of teacher, and which will be very much helpful in conducting classes, etc. So something like this, wherein you should be highlighting the transferable skills, that though you don't belong to the field, but you have necessary knowledge and skills from that field, which could also be utilized in the field that you wish to change. So that is how, if you already have experience, but you have experience in different kind of jobs and different kind of fields, in that case you should highlight the transferable skills, that though you don't have work experience in this field, but you can adapt very well and very easily. Then next section is work experience. There are a few things that you need to keep in mind regarding work experience. There should be not, I mean, if at all, if you have more than 15 years of experience, work experience, you should mention only the 15 years of the work experience, which is relevant to the present field for which you are applying. Uh, Second, regarding format of it, it should be in reverse chronological order. The last job goes on the top. So last job needs to be recorded first. You should be mentioning your job title, the name of the organization, and the duration or dates for which you have worked for the company. You can keep at max 5 bulleted points which highlights your key duties and responsibilities, or key work and activities that you have performed uh, in that job, right? And apart from that, if you have something specific to mention, like key achievements, this is the section where after mentioning your key duties and responsibilities, you can incorporate your key achievements also. If achievements are like, if you have received some honor or award, etc., you must mention those things. If you have, or if you have some evidence and proofs which can prove that you have achieved a particular productivity or performance, etc., those details are more ideal to be provided, which proves that not just that you're talented, but you also committed and hardworking. Apart from that, we can say whenever you write your key jobs and regarding key responsibilities, make sure that you are using some action words, like we can say organized or created. You are using action oriented words which prove that you are active employee. And apart from that, if you are able to quantify some part of your job, you must mention those quantitative numbers, which proves something, right? There are a few more details that you need to keep in mind while you mention work experience, out of which the first one is, don't go on using same word like responsible for or stuff like that. Try and use good vocabulary, try and use different words. Uh, Again, action oriented. You organized, you led the campaign, right? Or you manage something, or you held some workshop or seminar or something like that. So basically, we can say choose word power and action verbs to prove that you are active and committed and a hardworking professional in your previous jobs. Then don't use passive voice. Take responsibility, take ownership of everything that you have done in your career, and use active voice. Whenever you write resume, you must use active voice for that. Then, okay, for those people who are straight out of college and do not have work experience, for them, it's very important that you provide some timeline regarding what you have been doing over this period of time. It could be like you did some internship, you were part of some project in your college, or we can say some volunteering work if at all you have done those things. So all those things needs to be arranged and organized in a chronological order. If you are part of engineering field, or if you have we can say some technical apprenticeship training, etc., you must mention those things under this section, which proves that your overall educational journey has been fruitful, and you were continuously up to something, you were actively involved in some constructive activities, basically. uh, so these are the important aspects, we can say, that you need to make sure that though you're fresher, you're able to prove that you have been active, sincere, and committed um, individual to the field in which you are studying. Next section is education section. The right order for writing about education is to place your highest degree first. So if you have master degree, then that goes first. If you have doctorate, a doctorate comes first, then master, then bachelor's, and then you might mention HSC. uh, so this is, that should be the order. You should be creating a tabular format wherein you mention, first column is your degrees, second column years of passing, a third column can be your marks or percentage or grades that you have obtained in this each degree, and the last column can be your affiliated institution from where you have done this, basically. In case if you're fresher and you are right now in bachelor's degree, so I mean, technically, you just have one HSC certificate available with you, and there is no other degree. You have mark sheets, but then there is no degree certificates that are available with you. In that case, you might want to mention semester-wise grading. Yes. So if you're not done with the degree, in that case, you must mention the semester-wise score, which is true for masters also. Those people who are in the final semester of the master degree, they also should be mentioning the score of last three semester. So for I mean, if you are not completed the degree, your result of each semester needs to be mentioned. Then add any other degree again in the reverse order, reverse chronological order. The last one goes first. That is the order. If you have done some postgraduate diploma or something, that would go after this table, wherein you can mention that you have postgraduate diploma. Or if you have done certificate courses, those things can also go in there. But in that case, postgraduate diploma comes first, and then certification courses comes next. Um, Apart from that, if you have received any kind of honor or awards in your education field, or while you as a student, I mean, you should be mentioning those details also in education section. Okay, we discuss regarding freshers. So if you are a fresher and if you don't have any experience, in that case, you will not put work experience ahead of education. Rather, you will flip it and you will put education section first and then work experience. Because work experience is not a strong point. You are straight out of college and you don't have work experience. So in that case, work experience goes after education. And for experienced people, work experience comes first and then education section. Two tips: don't lie in your resume, especially in education section. So do not be tempted for mentioning degrees for which you do not have certificates. If you have done some certificate course, etc., but if you do not have proof, if you do not have papers or certificate to prove that you have taken the degree, do not mention those things. And do not round up your grades, which is very essential. At least up till 2 decibel point, there should be no rounding off, right? Mention the decibels up to 2 decibel points. Next section that we need to consider is skills. Very important section, I would say. There are two types of skills that you may want to mention. One is hard skills, which are specific abilities and know-how. Some technical aspects may be like you understand how to write and maintain cash registers, or you know how to handle Photoshop, right? Or that could be soft skills, which could be about self-developed and life-learned attributes like social skills, adaptability, resilience, which are very important. A perfect one is the one which is combination of the two. We can say you should have some of the hard skills also and soft skills also, and combine the two in the skill section of your resume. Genuinely build a big section of skills which are very essential nowadays. People are more interested in skills. What you can do is more important at times than your degree, because you may have degree, but if you can't have, or if you don't have skills, that does not make you a worthwhile a product. So genuinely, don't just for the sake of writing, write down like 10 skills that I have this and that. Don't claim exaggerated skills or skill set, but be realistic. Build your skill set such big that any potential employer would be happy to have you as an employee. And do not list irrelevant skills. You possess skills, it's not that you're lying, but do not, or avoid the temptation of writing skills which are inessential or unimportant for the present job for which you are applying. So if you're applying for the job of chef, let's say, um, you know how to do Photoshop, but that is not important, right? You shouldn't be writing those things. So don't list down irrelevant skill set. Consider the present job profile that you're applying for, and accordingly tailor your resume and incorporate skills. We can say that which are relevant in the present field for which you are applying. Then some of the common skills that you may mention or you may would like to use. One is communication skills, whether you are able to hold conversations, listening skills if you have that, or if you have very good interpersonal skills. That could be good addition to your resume. Then technical skills. So if you have some specific technical knowledge, you might want to mention it, like you can use MS Office very well, kind of thing, or if you know certain softwares that you can use, those things could be mentioned in this section. Then job specific skills, which proves that you're fit to do a particular job. So let's say you're applying for the job of we can say data entry operator, and in that case if you are able to mention that you have some great typing speed and you have a certificate proving your point, that's a great skills to have, right? So if you have some job specific skills, that would be great. You must mention. Then leadership and management skills, if you have ability to lead or if you can manage group of people or team of people, you should mention those things. Then critical thinking skills, if you're applying for middle level job position or managerial cadre, you must mention that how good analytical skills you have or how good decision making skills and problem solving skills that you have, that makes you a great catch for the position. Then organizational skills, if you have some knack for planning or organizing or directing or leadership, etc., you must mention those. And then transferable skills, if you don't belong to a particular area, but you possess certain skills which will be helpful to you in the this particular area of job, you must mention those. Like most of the cricketers, they play some other sport also than cricket to improve their stamina, etc. So in that case, they might want to mention those transferable skills. In the same way, if you have some other skills which could be helpful in the present job for which you are applying, you must mention those skills. This is how you design your skill section, wherein on one side you mention what skills you possess, along with, we can say, your proficiency level. Uh, Again, this claim needs to be realistic. Like I said, do not exaggerate and do not overdo while claiming that how much skill you possess. Next could be technical skills section. Sometime, if you want to mention technical skills, um, you may want to we can say add more detail, that what kind of skill set specific to this particular technical skill you possess. If like, if it is like project management is one of your skills, in project management there are n number of activities that can be incorporated, but in that case which specific areas are you experts in, basically those areas needs to be mentioned, so that person can have clear idea that you're good at project management, and but in which area are you good at it. And then the last additional section, this section is of uh, much more importance for freshers, basically, since they might not have much of the details to be incorporated in work experience section. They might want to prove their worth through additional section. So there are 5 things that could be mentioned in this additional section. First is hobbies and interest. You might want to enlist your hobbies and interests to prove that your ability or you have a ability to work as a team member, or you can handle people, or you are people's person, etc. Then you could mention volunteer work. Little we have discussed about it already, that whatever volunteership or volunteering work that you have done during your, we can say, education journey, you must mention those, which will prove a point that you are committed as a student. You have certain values which you are respecting, and you are not just behind money. So you have some roots, and you would like to work towards it, so which proves you, or which makes you a sincere and committed person, basically, and that could be a good point to be proven for a fresher, basically. Then certificates and awards, if you have taken part in some extracurricular, co-curricular activity, and if you stand out as a winner or something, you must mention those. But again, like I said, do not incorporate any detail for which you do not have proofs. You always should have all the relevant papers available which proves your claims or which support and back your claims. So if you have some certificates, you must mention those. If you have been part of some clubs like debate club or skill development club or anything like that in your college days, you should mention those details also. Then language proficiency, which all language you can read or speak or write basically, and how proficient are you in those. This section becomes extremely important if you're targeting some global firm and if you have knowledge of some international language or we can say some foreign language. And then publications and project. If you are publishing some article or research paper or we can say some write up in newspaper, etc., you should mention those. If you have habit of maintaining a blog or something, you should mention those also here so that people can gather more information about you and they can perceive you maybe an ideal candidate through proper details. uh, as a parting notes, let's gather some final tips. Remember, you are writing your resume for your reader, so keep your reader in mind and accordingly write a resume, which is very essential. Um, Usually we become or we consider that we are writing, but over here the writer is not important. The focus is to be reader, or the focus has to be a reader who's reading the resume. So don't write it for yourself that you are writing, so you have to write in a such a way, but write it for reader, that the reader, the one who's reading, is what kind of a person and what is their level of proficiency, etc., and make a resume or write a resume for the reader who is reading the resume. And then purpose of the resume is to get the interview, not the job. So don't jazz up too much, we can say. Don't like I said, don't go on making claims or bragging about things, because this is not like your resume is so attractive that they will finally offer you a job only. That would never happen, right? So be realistic while you are writing your resume, and just understand that you have to prove a point that you are worth their time and effort in terms of interview, and they should shortlist you for the interview. If you are able to make this much point through your resume, it's effective resume. Then provide enough information to entice potential employers, but do not dwell too much into details, unnecessary details. Right? Like I said, you have to prove a point that you are an ideal candidate and you should be shortlisted for interview. That's it. That is the aim basically of writing effective resume. You must proofread, which is very important. Do spell check. Nowadays there are some internet based tools available, they're free. You can take help of that, like Grammarly. You can use Grammarly, it is free add-in that you can plug in, add-in, whatever you call it. You can get it free, and you should check your resume and proofread your resume. There should be no we can say mistakes, and especially the grammatical ones, it's important. The ideal length, this is the question that I often get asked. Is the ideal length in case of resume? It is strictly 1 page. It can't exceed a page. Nowadays, you have templates available in the Word itself, MS Office Word. In that, you get template. You choose a nice template, attractive template, and you just customize that template for you. So length of resume can never exceed 1 page. It has to be one side of the page. That's it. And in case of CV, it may be extending to 2 pages. In case of CV, you may want to mention references. In resume, you don't I mean, there is no space for references. Um, and we can say that size and ideal size needs to be maintained. Length is important. And apart from that, like I said, you have multiple templates available. You can choose this. The template that I had shown you here had no image, but it will be good if you have some image of yours, a professional one, with white background if possible. And again, a formally dressed kind of image should be there of the potential candidate. A picture can says a lot about your personality apart from your resume, so that is important. And the last and the most important point, tailor your resume. We often have a habit that we prepare one resume and we keep sending it to different companies or different employer. Don't do that. Whenever you are applying for the job for the first time, I mean, in whichever company, if you are doing it for the particular position, always customize your resume for that position. Nowadays most of the hiring companies or most of the large businesses, they use applicant tracking system, ATS, wherein they are not going through your resume, they are just uploading your resume, which will be checked against job analysis that they have or against the recruitment ad that they have published over the internet or newspaper or anywhere. And this ATS, applicant tracking system, will just we can say compare that what they want and what you got. If they are able to find some similarity, they will shortlist you for the position. We can say in this picture which is there, you can see that how um, details which were there part of job application, or we can say advertisement, if is present in your resume also, they will shortlist you for interview, right? Like enterprise applications. So on your list of requirements, job analysis or recruitment ad, you have enterprise applications. And in your resume, in one of the as one of the part of your job duty, you are mentioning that. More the points of match that you have between your resume and their requirement list, more are the chances that you will be shortlisted for the job. So that's it. Thank you all, and do like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that you will keep receiving updates whenever I upload next video. Thank you all. Have a great day ahead.